What's up everyone, it's Q from Retro Q Gaming, and Square Enix have finally announced a release window for Lightning Returns Final Fantasy, aka Final Fantasy XIII-3. So they've announced that it's going to release on Steam at some point in December. They haven't given an exact date yet, and as of the time of recording this, the Steam page hasn't been updated because it'll be updated later today, and chances are we'll probably have an actual release date on the store page. But that's not why I'm making this video anyway. I did need to include it to give a little bit of backstory, or a little bit of relevance even. Context, there you go, context, that's the word I'm looking for. But the main reason I'm making this video is we all know, first off, not to pre-order or pre-purchase games. Now, in the case of Lightning Returns Final Fantasy XIII, 3, whatever way you want to call it, this is especially true because last year, in October of 2014, Final Fantasy XIII released on PC, and the port was an absolute disaster. I was going to say absolutely dire, but I think dire isn't strong enough. And it was an absolute disaster. The game was locked to 720p. I don't even think it had any graphic settings. There's still very few graphic settings in them even after the updates. But yeah, it was locked to 720p 30 FPS, and I don't remember if there was even graphics options. And it was just poorly optimized, and it was just a poor port. I mean, you could be standing still and with nothing going on around you, and the game's FPS would fluctuate. It was all over the place. There were so many things wrong with it. Performance stutters and hitches and just skips and absolutely everything. As well as, just on top of all that, there was an instant kill switch. If you would hit the escape button at any time, the game would just straight up instantly shut down. There was no menu, no asking you if you wanted to quit or anything like that. It would just straight up shut down and just kill the game instantly. So what's that? That was in October of last year. So 2 months after that released, they launched Final Fantasy XIII-2 on Steam. Now, they promised a bunch of graphical settings and a bunch of different resolutions and all that from day one, as well as better optimization and better performances. And because they used the same coding and setting as original Final Fantasy XIII, what they did was they updated Final Fantasy XIII with the improvements to XIII-2. So Final Fantasy XIII did get a noticeable improvement in, say, graphical features slightly, I'd say. It got a slight improvement in those, if you will. But it also got significant performance and optimization improvement. It's still substandard and subpar, if you ask me. But at the same time, it did receive a boost. Now, Final Fantasy XIII-2, however, even though it was programmed with all this new stuff, it was ported with all this new stuff in mind, still runs and plays like shit, even after a couple of updates. It's just, Final Fantasy XIII runs better than Final Fantasy XIII-2. They're both pretty substandard ports. Now, I realize there are a couple of people out there, which are obviously the minority because you very rarely hear about anything, but there are literally thousands, if not tens of thousands of people who have made their performance problems and issues known throughout the entire Final Fantasy XIII, Final Fantasy XIII post-patch, and Final Fantasy XIII-2 issues. So that basically brings us back to what I can only call the main reason of this video. And that is, even though it's nice that PC owners are finally getting some JRPG love, well deserved and long overdue if you ask me, but the main thing is, given the history with Final Fantasy XIII, Final Fantasy XIII-2, as well as the patch for original Final Fantasy XIII, wait on this game, guys. That's all I can say. If you were planning on buying this game or anything like that, definitely wait for a day or two after release, and by then we'll hear of the performance issues, we'll hear of the optimization issues, we'll hear of the graphic settings, the customizability, all that shit. We'll hear about that within like 10 minutes after release, let alone a day or two. But you can save yourself some money and save yourself some absolute stress at this point, because I know personally, out of experience with the Final Fantasy XIII port, it's just absolutely dire, and hopefully it doesn't repeat itself. Now, the fact that the the release window, or the release gap between 13.1 and 13.2 was only 2 months. Now the fact that this is getting another year on top of Final Fantasy XIII-2's release, hopefully, I want to be optimistic about this, but I will counteract that now in a second with my actual opinion. While I do hopefully optimistically look that they're going to properly improve it and properly port it within that year, I don't know. I mean, the realist, and I suppose you could call it cynicist, whatever you want to call it, cynicist, the cynical part of me. I mean, let's be real. They've fucked it up 3 times before already. It's probably going to happen again, unfortunately. So I implore everyone, wait a day at least. Probably even at most wait a day, because like I said, all that shit we'll hear about it an hour after release. So wait and see if you can get all of that out of the way and then make your purchase on that. So is it going to be a shit port or not? Who knows? So let me know in the comment section below anyway what you think of it actually going to be. If you think it's going to be a good port, if you think it's going to be a decent port, if you think they've just been scratching their arse for a year, or if you think they've been actually properly porting it and optimizing it. If they do, if it is a proper optimized port, I wonder if they'll patch the other 2 to make them even better. Let's see. Well, to make them serviceable and all, but we'll see how it goes anyway. There's 2 months left, and we'll find out then. So let me know all that in the comment section below. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. You can follow me on Twitter. Details in the description below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the rest of the videos in my channel.